Joining me on the debate tonight, Gaurav Bhatia, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, scientist, Sanjay Jha, author, suspended Congress leader, Dr. Suman Sriraman, political analyst, and Dr. Akashdeep Moni, political analyst, supports the I.N.D.A. party. And the biggest twist on the Delhi bill that has been put to vote on the floor of the House, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, is a mystery. 5 people who seem to have signed the motion that was put forward by I.N.D.A. party's Member of Parliament Raghav Chadha. 5 members of Parliament who say they never signed that, there was never any conversation. New twist to this bill, once again question mark on how operations are happening in the I.N.D.A. party?
Good evening, Navika. No, I think this is a very serious situation, and I don't know whether a privilege motion can be carried out against a privileged member of the Rajya Sabha, but this is, I would say, is totally unacceptable. This revelation is, and rightly so. I think the Speaker said that this is a very serious thing, a serious turn of events, and it has to be investigated. How can you do this? I mean, other than the fact that, yes, you may oppose the tabling of this bill or the act,
absolutely.
You may go ahead and...
Absolutely, Dr. Anand Ranganathan. You can be against any bill, but Dr. Sanjay Jha, my question to you is, first, when you are fighting in courts for the services bill, you put out, and that is what was stated by Mr. Amit Shah, Home Minister, on the floor of the House, that you first ran and removed, you wanted power to remove the Vigilance Secretary, not anybody else. Nothing related to work of administration for the people of Delhi. All you wanted to do was transfer the Vigilance Secretary, and that was the order that came at 5:30 p.m. that day, as cited by the Home Minister. And now you move a motion that this bill should be sent to the select committee of the Parliament of the Rajya Sabha, and 5 people signed that bill. 5 people who have not agreed, have not spoken, they are now seen to be signing the bill. Isn't this a huge fraud, for the lack of a better word, Dr. Sanjay Jha?
Navika, I think the biggest fraud is the Bharatiya Janata Party, which publicly stated, not once but several times in the past, that they wanted to see Delhi as an independent state. In fact, they were backing the statehood for Delhi. In fact, they should have been in the forefront of devolution of powers, of actually creating a more democratic environment. That's point number 1. The BJP's hypocrisy is now become so brazen that they're shameless to the core, with a capital S. The second point, which is equally important, there is a Supreme Court verdict which actually has forced this authoritarian government to introduce the constitutional amendments, because they have the numbers in the Lok Sabha, and they are therefore trying their level best to use and muster up the numbers in the Rajya Sabha and get the bill through. That end of day, if all the people in the BJP were once critical of Rajiv Gandhi's government on the Shah Banu issue, how is this any different? I would say this is a crude and extremely...
So you have no comment. You have no comment to make on the fact that, in Raghav Chadha's motion, there are 5 people who have appeared. That there is no answer, Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Instead, there is some more grandstanding.
Yeah, no, I would have preferred had Dr. Sanjay Jha answered the question that was asked to him directly. But he has gone on a tangential. But there also, can I please remind him that his analogy with Shah Banu or any other analogy is absolutely wrong, because here the center has actually not overturned the Supreme Court judgment. So he is factually wrong, because let me tell him that paras 78 to 86 along with 164 of the Supreme Court judgment makes it amply clear that the center can, through legislation, remove services from Delhi's legislative and executive domain. And let me tell him, actually, let me quote para 95 of the Supreme Court judgment, and that will tell how Sanjay Jha is actually factually wrong. Quote,
I'm not.
However, if Parliament, please, Sanjay, this is unfair because I waited for you and now I am quoting you the Supreme Court judgment. Please have 5 seconds. Please wait. Quote, however, if Parliament enacts a law granting executive power on any subject which is within the domain of NCTD, the executive power of LG shall be modified to the extent as provided in that law, unquote. So this is not overturning of the Supreme Court judgment.
Okay, let me then also get in Mr. Gaurav Bhatia. Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, Dr. Sanjay Jha is pointing towards the hypocrisy of the BJP. When the Home Minister today on the floor of the House says that all they have done is put the rules and guidelines, rules of business of the Congress party passed in 1993 into the act now, or the bill which still has to be passed in Rajya Sabha to become an act, who's more hypocritical? The fact that the Congress brought in those rules and regulations and all that the BJP government is doing is making it part of the bill so that anybody who was flouting this cannot now do so when it's part of the bill itself. Who's being hypocritical here, Mr. Gaurav Bhatia?
Navika, first of all, I would want to request you, when it's a political debate and charges are made against the Bharatiya Janata Party, it is only fair that you come to the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson and give him a chance to rebut Congress sympathizers.
Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, I was being told that the audio to you wasn't on, which is the only reason I waited till I got the confirmation. And as soon as I got that confirmation, yes. I have tossed the question to you.
Right. So I will leave it there. Just a request. Now let me respond to what Sanjay Jha said. First of all, let us understand, Navika, that today when the Home Minister responded, his response was full of substance, inspiring confidence. He spoke about the Constitution. He also gave facts which couldn't be rebutted by the opposition parties. And now a serious irregularity has been, pointed out, that 5 signatures have been forged. Now, this also leads to the question, Navika, from tomorrow, there would be a discussion on the no confidence motion. 50 signatures have been submitted. The motion has been allowed, discussion on the motion. Now what would happen? Are those forged? Farji Kejriwal or Farji Congress? Have they done Farjiwala again? I think it's a very serious issue. But I'm stuck between the statement made by the ex-spokesperson of the Congress party, Mr. Sanjay Jha, and the ex-MP of Congress, Mr. Sandeep Dixit. Look at the contradiction. Just today, Sandeep Dixit said it's a mistake Congress is committing by opposing the Delhi Services Bill. Now, I would give more credibility to Sandeep Dixit because he's represented the Union Territory of Delhi. Second, Mr. Sanjay Jha, it would do a lot of good to you and to the Congress party if you read the recent judgment of the Supreme Court, where the Aam Aadmi Party asked for a stay of the ordinance. And the last line I quote from the judgment, on 20th of July 2023, the Honorable Supreme Court said this: IA number so-and-so seeking a stay of the NCT ordinance is dismissed. Therefore, the Honorable Supreme Court also found merit in the ordinance, which is being replaced by the bill now. Third point, which is more important about the numbers. Let us understand, Navika, on the floor of the House, the NDA is increasing. We have seen how Jagan Mohan Reddy's party and the Biju Janata Dal also decided to support the bill earlier. Now, what does it say about the opposition? Opposition today is rudderless. It is not I.N.D.I.A. Rather, it's a Titanic ship which is sinking. And therefore, parties who are in the opposition are also not ready to support the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party. Last but not the least, I think the most vital part about the speech made by Amit Shah ji was when he said that on the 11th of this month, we can have a discussion on Manipur. And it wouldn't be a limited discussion. There wouldn't be any time limit. And he gave a challenge to the Congress party. But they did not accept it. What does it show? It shows whataboutery, hypocrisy of the Congress party, that they are not concerned about Manipur. They are not concerned about India. They are only concerned about the...
They don't even know whether to support or to oppose their own rules and regulations made by their own party in 1993, and that shows confusion, hypocrisy, call it what you will, Dr. Sanjay Jha. But let me get in Suman Siraman. Suman Siraman, serious question on parliamentary proceedings on the floor of the House. 5 members of parliament actually get up and say that the motion that has been presented by Mr. Raghav Chadha, member of parliament of the I.N.D.A. party, 5 of the MPs were named as signatories of that motion when they actually haven't even had a conversation. I want to ask you, serious matter of privilege coming on the floor of the House. Now, does this show complete nervousness that you want to win this vote on the floor of the House by hook or by crook? And what does this talk about the morality standards of the alliance, which is, getting people together who are not part of your alliance?
Navika, I think before we get into the privilege motion part, I think it is sad that so much of effort at such a critical time when issues like Manipur and Haryana remain to be discussed on the floor of the House is being spent on teaching one man a lesson. And that man being Arvind Kejriwal needs to be taught a lesson, and therefore the entire parliament is debating this issue. The matter has already been referred to a constitutional bench of the Supreme Court. There will be a verdict that will be the final say on whatever is passed now, and yet this attempt is being made to ram this through for what? Okay, agreed, a constitutional bench may not give its judgment in a matter of a few weeks. It may take a few months or maybe even 2 to 3 years, if not longer. But the point is, the matter is already there, and that is going to be the final verdict on this bill.
So who's running away from the debates on the floor of the House? No, Dr. Suman Siraman, who is running away from the floor of the House?
No.
Gaurav Bhatia just said the Home Minister has offered on the first day of Parliament for a debate on Manipur. Nobody is willing to take that. The no confidence motion has been brought in by the opposition. The opposition is leading the tirade on this one, and you're blaming the BJP.
No. I am not blaming anybody. I am just pointing out the facts that this matter is already before a constitutional bench. Whatever the constitutional bench decides is going to be final. There was already an ordinance.
Gaurav Bhatia, respond. Gaurav Bhatia, please respond to Suman Siraman's very philosophical question on morality tonight.
So much of time, energy being expended in Parliament on something that is already before the court.
I think Mr. Amit Shah ji also gave a very befitting response to a chief minister who was in a rush to tamper the important crucial files pertaining to Sheesh Mahal and to the liquor scam that happened immediately after the Supreme Court verdict came. What was the rush to ask for these files? And that itself shows that दाल में कुछ काला नहीं. Arvind Kejriwal पूरी तरह से नियत काली है. And Navika, I must also say, Arvind Kejriwal stood exposed when Amit Shah ji told the entire nation how Arvind Kejriwal lied that the ordinance was brought just after the Supreme Court had gone for a vacation. The Supreme Court doesn't go for a vacation because there are vacation benches. And the Aam government could have moved the Honorable Supreme Court. They waited. They did not get a stay order from the Supreme Court. Now they should respect the highest court of the country, which they don't. And last but not the least, एक couplet है, 5 सिग्नेचर निकले हैं फर्जी, 5 सिग्नेचर निकले हैं फर्जी, फट गई है इनकी इज्जत, नहीं मिल रहा है कोई दर्जी.
Let me get in Akashdeep Muni. Akashdeep Muni, while there is division, there is voting that is going on the floor of the House. To my mind, serious questions on why the Aam Party's member of parliament has included names when there has been no agreement by these members of parliament. And in the division, I think papers are now being distributed for the counting of votes there. I need a quick response because we're running out of time.
Navika ji, the point of discussion is today is that this particular ordinance abrogates the chain of responsibility today. And what he does is that it gives power to the bureaucrats over the executive. It means that today you have put a chief minister in Delhi. He is the elected chief minister, but he has no power. The members of
well, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about who's going to not just decide what is going to be the power of the chief minister of Delhi, but today it is the strength on the floor of the Rajya Sabha, because if the NDA wins this particular round in Rajya Sabha, the strength really will be proved here as well, where the opposition is trying to show that I.N.D.I.A. is all together. But will it be effective against the power and the strength of the Modi Sarkar, along with other political parties like the YSR Congress, also the BJD, which are supporting this particular bill? Is it a show of strength here? And then the show of strength will begin tomorrow in the no confidence motion that comes in Lok Sabha. For now, it is a battle royal, and we're seeing paper chits being distributed, which means that everybody is going to put in their vote in that paper. So in the meantime, we'll take a short break and we'll come back on the other side with the result of this floor strength battle that is happening on the floor of Rajya Sabha. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on the Newshour tonight.